What is the meaning of G? G in the sense generation. 5G is reserved for augmented reality and virtual reality. What is the acronym of SMS? Short message service. The complete network will be in one global standard. Wi-Fi is nothing but wireless fidelity. So WiMAX is a wireless digital communication system. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the 7th session on networking concepts. Hope all of you are following all the sessions and make sure that you have covered all the topics whatever I have done till now. So before I start the session, I would like to give you a small recap on what I have done in the previous sessions, and then I will move on to today's interesting topic for all of you. So what is that we have done? Let's discuss quickly. So we have started this chapter with the definition of networks. So that's the first topic that we have discussed, and then we have discussed needs. We have discussed the needs and goals along with that. So please understand a very important 5 marks topic, that is OSI reference model. So go back and check in the previous video. So OSI layers, that's a very important thing that you need to remember with respect to 5 marks. And then we have TCP bar IP, and then we have different types of networks that we have. Different types of networks. Can you all guess what exactly will come in the different types of networks? Of course. So please remember, we have something called LAN. We have something called LAN, WAN, as well as MAN. So this is the 3 different types of networks that we have when it comes to the different types of network. And then the next important thing that we have discussed in the previous sessions is all about the topologies. When it comes to the topology, so please understand, so we have something called star. Okay, we have something called star, bus, mesh, and also we have tree, and we have ring topology. So this is the different topologies that we have discussed. Again, this is a 5 marks important topic that you should never miss. So after this we have discussed so some more topics which is related to communication media. We have twisted pair, right? We have twisted pair, fiber optics, and coaxial cable. So all these things will comes under the concept of guided media. So fine. After this, what is that we have discussed? So we have something called unguided. So when it comes to unguided, we have laser, we have radio waves, we have microwaves. Okay, so we have satellite. Okay, so all these things we have discussed in the satellite. I mean, like unguided media. So this is what you need to remember when it comes to the recap. So quick recap what we have done in the previous sessions. Right, so what is that we are going to discuss in today's session? So guys, please observe, in today's session I will be discussing about wireless and mobile computing. What's that I'm going to discuss? Wireless and mobile computing, and then the applications in networking is what I'm going to discuss in today's session. So all right, let's start without wasting much of your time. So we have something called 1G. All of you will be knowing something called 1G. All right, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and then we have something called 5G. All these things you will be knowing. Sir, yen sir idu 1G, 2G, 3G, 3G, 4G, come on G, parle G, yen sir idu. So please understand, we have this G, the meaning of G in the sense generation. What is that? What is the meaning of G? G in the sense generation. Before we had this 1G, so this is mobile computing generations. What is this G? So before this 1G we had 0G. So that is the previous generation of 1G. So let's start with 1G. How exactly this 1G was working? So please listen to me carefully. I will take you to the different world. You have to start imagining. So 1G ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so it was using the analog signals. It was using the analog signals. ಬರೀ ನಾನು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. I was not able to send any text messages. I was not able to send any text messages, and I was not able to send my signal for a longer distance. I had a lot of drawbacks. ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ವಾಯ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ a lot of breaks irta ittu. So all these things were the problems that I used to face in 1G. So to solve this problem, we move on to the next generation, that is 2G. What happens in 2G? So 2G nalli 3 to 4 times improvement agutte in terms of sending the bits. So point number 1. Point number 2, so when I started using the 2G, when we started using the 2G, we were able to send the text messages. What is that? Now text messages na voice data. So bari voice data matra, voice calling matra was enabled in 1G, but when it comes to 2G, so we started sending the text messages also. And also we started sending the image picture message also in 2G. That's what you need to remember. And also we started using the internet. The concept of internet started in second generation is what you need to remember. This is what you have heard and you know probably, but I will tell you something interesting for all of you which you don't know. We have something called 2.5G. Yes sir, ಇದು 2.5G. We have something called 2.75G. So what is that difference? 2.5G, 2.75G. So probably you will be knowing we had something called GPRS. So ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಏನಿತ್ತು GPRS ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು 2G nalli. So whenever we are using the 2G network, so we were able to use only 14 kbps speed of internet. So but yavaga now 2.5G ge move agtive, so we started using 50 to 60 kbps of network speed, data transmission speed. So yavaga now 2.5G bartive, so in your mobile you would have seen in the top. So now you guys are using, you guys are getting 4G. So before that, when you guys were using 2.75G, you guys used to get only G. That represents GPRS. Then after that 2.5G, we moved on to the 2.75G. So what happens in the 2.75G? So we started using E. So we started using a technology called edge technology. So again there is an improvement in the speed of internet that what we are using. So we started getting E. So now yavaga 2.75 bartivi, so 2.5 alli G, so 2.75 alli E. That's what you need to remember. I repeat, 2.75 alli E, 2.5 alli G. So this is the evolution which happened on backside, that is when it comes to the second generation. So fine, 2.75 aitu. What next? We have 3G. So what happens in the 3G? So the first, what is the network that we have? 3G. What happens in the 3G? So first smartphone got introduced in this generation. So you were able to use 2 Mbps of data rate transmission in third generation. Please remember, you started using the smartphone in the third generation, you were able to access 2 Mbps. That's what you need to remember when it comes to 3G. So again, in 3G also we have subcategory. We have 3.5G and 3.75G. So we started using H+. We started using H+ in 3.75G. So guys, my dear students, after 3.75G, so please understand we have something called 4G. What happens in the 4G? All this video conferencing, lot of applications, lot of gaming things started developing and involving in our life because of the network called 4G. So please remember, so because of 4G, we started using all the video conferencing calls and voice calls. Now you guys are able to do the WhatsApp calls. You guys are able to do the messenger calls. You guys are able to do the video conferencing. Because of what? Because of the highest data rate that you are getting nowadays. So that is in the fourth generation. That's what you need to observe. So please understand what is that we have in the 4G. So please, it supports the multiple applications and services, and quality of service is far better than the previous generations. So that's neat. That is what you need to observe here. And the next one is network detection and network selection is available in 4G is what you need to remember when it comes to 4G. And let's check back the 5G. What is this 5G? Mainly 5G is reserved for augmented reality and virtual reality. So an IoT will take up very drastically change in our daily life. If we are into 5G, make sure that I'm really sure that augmented reality and virtual reality will change the world like anything because of the high speed internet. So my dear students, if we are into 5G, obviously we will also change the IP version from V4 to V6. You already know what exactly V4 and V6, version 4 and version 6. We will definitely move on to V6 if we are changing ourselves into 5G is what I would like to inform all of you, right? Let's have a quick look what will happen with the 5G. 5G stands for fifth generation, and 5G has changed the meaning of using the cell phones. Why do they say like that? Let's have a point. The 5G includes all types of advanced features which makes 5G technology more powerful, huge demand in future. Why is that so? Key concepts of 5G. Point number one, real wireless world. Real wireless world, everything you can access without having a lot of wires, messy wires. Okay, that's one of the first point. Wearable device with AI compatibilities, artificial compatibilities, and internet protocol version 6. You are going to use the version 6. In version 4 we are using right now, currently we are into version 4, 32 bits of internet IP address. But when we move on to the version 6, please understand we will be moving on to the 64 bits. Just imagine the possibilities of IP address that we will get if we are into the V6. If we are into the V6, even if I have any small electronic device, even I can give the IP address for that. Just imagine whatever I have in this world, for each and every device, I will be able to give the unique IP address. That many combinations of IP address that I can generate if I move on to the IPv6. That's what you need to remember. So that is going to helpful for all of us, to drastically change the world with the IoT. There is a concept called IoT, Internet of Things. You can change your AC climate, like sitting back in your office, and you can change the AC which is in your room. Which is in your room in the sense, like in your house. So you can stay back somewhere and you can control all your gadgets sitting in some other place. So that is because of all your electronic devices are connected to the internet. How it is connected to the internet? Because each and every device has got unique IP address. So with the help of unique IP address, I will be able to access everything. So how do I do that? With the help of fast internet. So only when I have 5G, I will be able to do all those things very smoothly. That's what you need to understand. All right. One unified global standard. The complete network will be in one global standard. So if I'm into the 5G, is what the one more important point. Universal network providing universal computing. So universal network providing universal computing is one more advantage if I use 5G, is what you need to understand. All right, moving on to the next word, features of 5G. I think already we have discussed a couple of features with respect to 5G. Let's have a quick look. So high resolution, attractive and effective, fast action and solution, and avoid errors. You cannot say that complete errors will be avoided, but still the amount of errors will be little less when we compare to any other generations, is what they would like to mention here. And then accurate and consistency with respect to the stability of network. Of course, it's not so very high, but of course, when we compare to all other previous generations, this is far better, is what I would like to tell all of you. And you can also create a virtual private network. Of course, we can also create with other enhanced available connectivity. So this is the features that they have listed out with respect to 5G. Right. So this is all about the different generations that we have. Now, very quickly, I would like to sum up. So we have different generation: 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. So make sure that the only change that we have is they are increasing the speed of the internet. They are increasing the speed of the internet in the sense, like, I will be able to transmit my data quickly when we compare to the previous generations, is what you need to remember. Right. We were using the analog signals, but when it comes to the 2G, we started using the digital signals. So from there, our text messages and all the picture messages started. But when we started using the mobile phones, smartphones, in fact, so we started in the third generation. So when we started using the third generation device, I mean to say that the smartphones, you were able to access the internet at the speed of 2 Mbps. So then after that, we started using 3.5 and 3.75 with H plus. You started getting H plus. So again, the speed increases. When we move on to the 4G, the game really changes with the different applications like video conferencing, and also you have virtual gaming. All these things really created a revolution in the world. Right. So we are waiting for the next generation, that is 5G. We are yet to get into that in our country. So this is all about the different generations that we have. So moving on to the next topic that we have, applications and network. So I think I don't have to speak much about the applications of network. So they are texting, they are speaking about the SMS. What is the abbreviation? You can expect what is the acronym of SMS? Short message service. What is the acronym of SMS? Short message service. If you are able to send a message from one person to another person, so that is what I will call it as a SMS. Let me not spend much time on this because all of you know about this. So all right, moving on to the next one that we have, I have the application, in that I have chat. So the same thing, chat, in the sense chatting is the most fantastic thing on the internet. So please understand, in telephonic conversation, you can say something to the people, hear it and respond. I think you'll not be knowing this. This is a very new topic for all of you. Have you all seen something like WhatsApp? It's a very new kind of application that most of you would have not seen. So can you just move the slide, because we are master in this. I know, guys. But let me just tell you one thing honestly, but whatever the data that you guys are exchanging in the WhatsApp and thinking that it's safe, my dear students, it's literally not safe. So please take care on that. Whatever the data that you are trying to exchange is literally not safe. So make sure that the data will not get backed up in iCloud. Most of you will not be knowing about it. So automatically, whatever the data that you are generating, so it will get stored somewhere. That's what we call it as a backing up the data. So please take care of all those things. If you feel that the data what you have on the WhatsApp is safe, I'm sure that it's not really safe. So take care on that, is what I would like to tell at this point of time for all of you, rather than explaining what exactly the WhatsApp chat is all about. Moving on to the next thing that I have is Wi-Fi. Right, this is one of the important and interesting topic. Soon this technology is going to an end. Why? So it's like that. What is Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is nothing but wireless fidelity. Imagine I have something called tap. I have something called tap. I have a water tank, and make sure that I have a water lines. Okay, now I have a pipes to all rooms, whatever I have. Just because I have the tap, that doesn't mean that water should come. Yes or no? Yes. If there is a water in the tank, the water will come. In the same way, whatever the pipeline, whatever I have got, that is how the Wi-Fi is working. Just because that you have the Wi-Fi, that doesn't mean that you should have the internet. Right? Internet is something like water in the coming pipe. Like, you have the pipe. Inside that pipe, if you have the water, then that is the internet. Water is internet. I will summarize this example very quickly. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಏನಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ವಾಟರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇದೆ. ವಾಟರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂದ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಪೈಪ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರ. ಪೈಪ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ವಾಟರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಪೈಪ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆ. ಸೇಮ್. ವೈಫೈ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ವೈಫೈ ಇದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಥರ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ವೈಫೈ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಆಗಿದೆ. ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆ. ವೈಫೈ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆ. ವಾಟರ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆ. ವಾಟರ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ wireless routers, we use the routers to create the connection between the devices, like without using the wires. Can I use the internet with the devices whatever I have without connecting the wires? How do I do that? So solution is Wi-Fi routers. So I will be creating the Wi-Fi network to get connected with the different devices what I have. So fine, I think all of you know about this. Let me tell you something which you don't know. The next thing that we are going to get is Li-Fi. So in Li-Fi andre light fidelity. So we will not be using the Wi-Fi routers anymore, probably in the coming years. Instead of that, we have something called Li-Fi. So light fidelity, how does it work? So we use this LED lights. We use this LED lights to transmit the data. If just take out your phone and check the light, so there will be a flickering in the light. So what is that, sir? The light actually working is like this. Light is working like on and off, but you will not be able to see the flickering in your bare eyes. So what we are doing is we are using the same technology to transmit our data. Off in the sense it will transmit 0, on in the sense it will transmit 1. So we are trying to transmit the data with on and off. So we are using the same technology to convert the particular area into the Wi-Fi zone. So instead of Wi-Fi zone, we are creating it as a Li-Fi zone. So probably the LED lights will replace the Wi-Fi routers in the coming days. So ನಾವು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್? ಲೈಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡೆ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾ? Probably they are finding the solution for that. So let's keep our fingers crossed to get the best technology up in the coming days. Right? Moving on to the next one, we have hotspots. So I think I've spoken about this hotspots also. So hotspot in the sense you are sharing your private network with other people. So already almost all of you will be knowing, so tethering is what we say, right? So you are trying to share your internet with anybody else. You are creating the network, you are sharing the network with anybody else, is what we are calling it as a hotspot. Okay, so let's understand this. Hotspot is a venue that offers Wi-Fi access. Of course, we know that the public can use a laptop, Wi-Fi phone, or other suitable portable devices to access the internet through a Wi-Fi hotspot. Basically, you are creating the Wi-Fi with the help of your phone. So using that Wi-Fi, you are able to get connected to other device, and other device will be able to access the internet with from other device, is what you need to understand. Sir, namge idella gottu sir, mundukku hogi. We have something called WiMAX. Last topic for the day. So WiMAX is a wireless digital communication system. Please understand, this is very important. WiMAX can provide the broadband wireless access. WiMAX can provide broadband wireless access. So this is one of the important thing that you should know. Point number 1, you need to understand up to ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ 30 miles for fixed stations. 30 miles for fixed stations. ಅದು fixed stations ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. So for that is what I will call it as a mobile station. For them 3 to 10 miles. 3 to 10 miles. So fine. So how do I get the internet? Right? How do I get the things done? So please observe here. WiMAX requires a tower called WiMAX base station. WiMAX ಏನು ಬೇಕು? ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಟವರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ is very very important for WiMAX. So that is an important point that you need to remember. So tower, cell phones ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ tower, that's what we call it as a base station for WiMAX. So which is connected to, please understand, which is connected to the internet using a standard via high speed connections. This is how the WiMAX is working. This is how the WiMAX is working. 2 points you need to remember with respect to WiMAX. The first point is if I'm constant, if the body is constant, so what is the speed that you are getting and what is the distance that you're getting? And then second point, if you are not stationary, if you are moving, so what is the distance? That is the first point that you need to remember. And second thing is, do I need base station or not? Yes, of course I need base station if I'm into WiMAX. So please understand that this is the basic thing that you need to remember. So WiMAX, wireless digital communication system. Wireless digital communication system. So you can expect this question for 2 marks. So what is that I should remember, sir? So WiMAX in the sense what? It is a wireless digital communication system. So does it require the base station? Yes, it requires the base station. So what is the distance it can cover if it is stationary? What is the distance it can cover if it is moving like a mobile? So that's a important thing that you need to understand. If it is stationary, 3 to 10 miles, is it? No, 30 miles. If it is stationary, one place ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ 30 miles ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ 3 to 10 miles. So with this, I have come to an end of this session. So my dear students, please go back and check. I have tried my best to give you the content which is not there in your textbook. Okay, so please explore, understand this concept more about the different generations that we have. So by saying this, take care, bye bye.